Mark Berman for Short Local News. I'm in conversation today with a friend of mine. And I don't want to say an old friend because he's a young guy, but I've known him a long time. Chris Filiciello. And Chris works for Keystone Cyber Protection. And did you know that October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month? If you didn't, you're going to know now. Chris, welcome to Shore Local.
Hey, Mark, thanks for having me.
So you're involved in cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm.
When you turn on the cable information, opinion, and a little bit of news channels, all we hear about is cyber this, cyber attacks, cyber, and protecting your kids online. You're involved in this, aren't you now? Can you tell us about Cybersecurity Awareness Month?
Sure.
Cybersecurity Awareness Month, it was created in October for a month for us to become more aware of how to protect ourselves against predators?
Exactly. In 2004, Homeland Security and CISA and the National Cyber Alliance created Cybersecurity Awareness Month, designated October, just so it was an opportunity for companies and individuals to become more aware of their cyber hygiene, if you will, online. And it's really taken on a lot of importance in, I'd say, at least the 5-10 years prior to today, because of Bitcoin and other ways that the criminals can really hold you hostage and not get caught. It's very difficult. In the old days, they'd say, leave the bag of money by the trash can and come alone and, walk away. Nowadays, they want money in Bitcoin, and that's very hard to trace on the internet.
Chris, how can we protect ourselves against these predators? Now, I know I watch TV, so PC-Matic tells me it's them, but can you tell me what can we do to protect ourselves?
Yeah, so first of all, there's a lot of different actors. In the cybersecurity speak, there's script kiddies, meaning someone who just takes some kind of tool off the internet and just deploys it without really understanding it. There's criminal gangs that actually just want money. There's political hacktivists that just want to make a political point. There's nation state actors such as China, Russia, Iran, who want to do damage to the government and have political agendas. So there's all kinds of different motives out there. But if I could tell you, if there's one way to really reduce the risk of getting hacked, this is 90% of the risk, would you think you would follow it?
Yes.
So phishing emails. That's basically the number one way that people can get into your systems or get into your information, because they send a really nice, good-looking email. Sometimes it's a spoofed email, meaning it looks like it's from your friends or your family, and they send you in a nice message, hey, I had a great weekend, check out the pictures, just click on this link. And once you click on that link, they now can gain control of your computer, or they can download viruses or other malware. But you gave them that permission because they tricked you into clicking a link, or tricked you on clicking on a picture. And you didn't know that there was a link associated with that. So you basically gave them access.
How do we know when they're fake, if they look that good?
So that's a great question. There's some simple things and a little bit more advanced things. First of all, what time are you getting the email? A lot of these phishing emails come to you at 2 a.m. and from your friends, and you know that most of your friends are sleeping. That's because it comes from overseas, and that's the normal time zone for them. Number two, you can look at the email sender. Is that really at gmail.com, or is it GMA, the number 1, L.com? That's the spoofed email. Another way is to read the hyperlink. In our trainings, we say hover over the link. And when you hover over the link, you're able to see the URL or the website. And there's a real easy trick. I'd have to show you visually, but there's a trick to see if it's the really Amazon or if it's not Amazon. Sometimes it can be ANNAZON. And if you didn't know to hover over the link, you wouldn't know that that wasn't Amazon. And so that's another way to do it. And just really just being aware of downloads, any attachments. You want to be very suspicious. You want to make sure that it's really coming from the source that you want it to come from. And does it make sense? If someone sends you an email, hey, Mark, I'm going to send you a wire transfer today. We picked you out of 1,000 people. It's your lucky day. All you got to do is open this attachment for more details, and you'll get $10,000 today. And so does that make sense? Are you really expecting a wire transfer? So just, it's really just slowing down and being suspicious. Anything incoming, you have to be suspicious. That's what we talk about. Phone calls, emails, and text messages. So in cybersecurity speak, an email is called a phishing attack. A text message is really short message service. We call that smishing. So you have phishing, smishing, and do you know what a phone call would be?
No.
If you use your voice, vishing. I know, very, very original.
Okay.
Phishing, smishing, and vishing. And you just got to be suspicious. People can spoof the phone numbers. People can spoof the phone calls and the text messages. Back in my day growing up, we used to have caller ID where you could screen the phone calls and, do I want to pick this up? Do I not want to pick this up? Nowadays, the hackers can spoof any phone number. So it can look like it's the police department. It can look like it's the FBI. It can look like it's your parents or your friends or your child calling you, asking for information. So you have to be aware of that anything incoming, you have to be suspicious. Also, Microsoft and Amazon will never call you to repair your computer or to tell you that someone's broken into your account. They are way too busy for that, and they're not going to call you. But so many times we've heard of people getting duped into giving up their password and their usernames because they said, oh, this is Microsoft, someone's broken into your account. We'd like to resolve this right away for you. If you just please give us your username and password, we'll get in there. We'll make sure that they didn't steal anything, and we'll get you all set. And people give that up. It's called social engineering, and they get tricked out of giving up important information, and now they're hacked.
If somebody calls, I get calls all day, as most people do, from the Likely family. Usually it's the father, Scam Likely. They use his name first.
Mm-hmm.
So we get Scam Likely. Now, if we get one of the phone numbers and we pick up and we answer, do they have our information at that point when we answer, or do we have to talk and give information on the phone for them to actually have our information?
Yeah, so the more dangerous part is giving up your information,
Okay.
which is social engineering.
Sure.
And social engineering is basically manipulating you to give up confidential information. The professional social engineers really rely on people thinking other people want to be helpful, or they want to be, they trust other people. So, that's our human weakness, I guess, if you want to call it that, when it comes to cybersecurity. Out of all the technology out there, the human is the weakest link when it comes to cybersecurity, whether it's with an organization or personally, it's always the human.
If we reach Keystone Cyber Protection online,
Mm-hmm.
can listeners to this and readers in Sure Local, will they be able to get all this information from this website?
They'll get an understanding of the kinds of services that we offer. Our job, Keystone Cyber Protection, is to protect small to mid-sized businesses from being hacked. So the way we do that is really fourfold. Number one, we offer phishing tests, which will send you a simulated phishing attack. It'll look nice. It might be like an Amazon or a Microsoft email that you'd want to click on, and when you click on it, you find out that it was actually a scam. It's a fake scam. We'll say, sorry, you've just been phished. Please recognize that this could be potentially dangerous if this was a real thing. And we send that report to your supervisors of how many people in the organization gets clicks on the information. Sometimes we do phishing tests where they give up credentials, which is even worse, which is basically like, if you click on this and give us your username and password, you get a 30% off discount at Amazon.com. And all it takes is one person to give up their credentials, and the entire organization is now in trouble. So we do phishing tests. We do security awareness trainings, which is my personal favorite. That's basically where I go in and teach individual employees how not to get hacked. We teach them how to read a URL. We teach them all the different tricks and what's going on, and the multi-factor authentication and how that can easily be hacked. And so we really try to bring awareness to cybersecurity so that people know what to look for and are very vigilant against potential cyber criminals. We also do risk assessments where we go in and speak with all the top leadership of your company, HR, finance, IT, and get a good sense of where you are right now. We check your policies, procedures, your networks, your computers, and just give you a real snapshot of how secure or not secure you are. And we develop a roadmap and a plan for you to get up to more cybersecurity maturity. And then finally, if you really need it, we are on a monthly basis where you can hire us to be your virtual CISO, which is Virtual Chief Information Security Officer. If you hired a real one, it's probably a couple $100,000. We're way below that, but we're on call. so that if you ever have an issue or have any cybersecurity related questions, we're able to help you and keep your company secure at all times.
So for computers in small and medium-sized companies, do you offer also protection for the computers on there, or do you recommend a protection company?
Yeah, so we work with the individual company's IT. If they have an IT company or if they have IT employees, we work with them for best practices when it comes to cybersecurity. There's all kinds of different products out there, different kinds of scans and analysis and things like that that we would recommend depending on the company. But really, again, it starts with the frontline employees having security awareness training, getting them used to phishing tests so that they don't click on things that they shouldn't. Because like I said earlier, about 90% of hacks begin with some kind of phishing attack.
What's the website?
www.keystonecyberprotection.com. That's keystonecyberprotection.com. And we're located here in New Jersey, in Lakewood, New Jersey. So let me just back up. I love history, all types of history, military history. And the internet was actually created in the 1950s. It was never meant to be what it is today. It was created in the 1950s for a way for us to communicate if there was ever a nuclear bomb, and the military needed to communicate with important individuals. So it was created in the 1950s. In the 1960s and 70s, it was used by universities to communicate their studies and their research. And then really in the 1990s and early 2000s, it got commercialized. But it was never meant to be a vehicle in which everyday people interact. But just like so many things with the military research, it eventually gets commercialized. And so in the 90s, businesses started to, that's when Amazon started in the early 1990s and just took off from there. And it was never built with safeguards that would have really kept it safe for everybody to use. But, we built upon that and it just caught on. And here we are in 2022 with ransomware, malwares, all kinds of different attacks. And it's just really evolved because that's where people are. Everyone is on the internet these days. And especially since the pandemic, when people started to work from home, ransomware shot up through the roof because people are outside of their safe, somewhat safe environments at work. And now they're working from home where the environment is not as secure.
Chris Filiciello, you just help our readers and our listeners protect themselves against people that, let's face it, that just want to get you. Thank you for making us aware. Cyber Security Awareness Month is October, but it's way beyond that. It's 12 months a year, and Keystone Cyber Protection will keep you protected in your business. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us.
All right, Mark. Thank you for having me.